Welcome back to Good Sports for You, where we are talking about good sports for you. And today, unfortunately for me, it is not good sports for me, is what I will say. But before we hop into it, I want to remind you to like, comment, subscribe while we talk about the downfall of the Milwaukee Brewers and what the heck happened to the squad in the NLCS versus the Dodgers. For my longtime viewers, you can see I'm in a different setup. I had to go home for some reasons, but I'm chilling for a bit for right now, and I'll be back to my normal setup in a few weeks. But just for a couple of videos, in order to keep coming them out, I'll have to be rocking with this. But, we got a couple of Bobs up here. We got Pat and we got Yelich, so that's that. So with this Brewers team, it was a team of rambunctious individuals, I'll say that. And I'm a lifelong Brewers fan. I've been a Brewers fan my whole entire life, and it's a never-ending string of disappointments. We've won 4 playoff series in the history of my life, the history of the team, period. And this team felt different, and it's frustrating that we lost, obviously. There are obvious flaws. The hitting was dreadful. I mean, we're going to go through it, but the hitting was the biggest concern. The Dodgers pitching, their starting pitching was simply too much for us. And what I talked about in my playoff preview for this series is I talked about how the Dodgers starting pitching, the Brewers needed to get through them. And if you can get them out of the game at a reasonable time, the bullpen is their weak spot. Well, guess what? That was true. It was true. Their bullpen was their weakest spot. They almost lost them multiple games. Blake Snell, he almost lost the game because their bullpen almost blew it in game 1. There were so many chances and the team just kept on falling short. And it starts with the hitting. I want to highlight the good things that happened first, though. Caleb Durbin, this kid who went to a D3, almost Ivy League school, who's this short little dude, was able to have a fantastic series. He had a 972 OPS. Jackson Chourio, again, a kid. He's a child. He did one of the best of any of our starters. He had a 655 OPS, which is embarrassing that I'm saying he was one of the better players. Jake Bauers was one of the better players. He had a 555 OPS. A 555. And you're saying he's a hot bat? Are you serious right now? It was a joke. It was an absolute joke. And then you look at the stars, and that's where the team really fell apart. William Contreras didn't have a hit until game 4, and he batted 143 on the series with a 393 OPS. And it only gets worse. Yelich, this guy, MVP winner Yelich, second in MVP, the face of the franchise, the largest contract in the history of the organization. And he batted .071 with a 259 OPS. This isn't an average. It's not an on-base percentage. That's not even your slugging. That is your OPS. 259. He hasn't had an RBI in the playoffs since 2018. And it's not like this team hasn't been there. They've been there every single year, and he hasn't done anything. And he's the face of the franchise. He's the face of the team. And it's not even like he had competitive at-bats. He worked the count. He looked silly in every single game. It was an embarrassment. Bryce Terang, a secondary star, a potential all-star. He could have been easily this year. He was hitting so hot. He had the home run against the Cubs that helped propel us there. He batted .067 with a 192 OPS. Andrew Vaughn, King Vaughn, the guy that I talked about in the past, one of my first videos, was how he came out of nowhere and he was so good, helped bring this team to the winning streak and everything like that. He didn't have a single hit all series long. He had a 77 OPS. For your starting first baseman, are you joking? And then you had your other guys, the guys that you're like, hey, if they get some hits, you'd love that. Joey Ortiz didn't get a hit, 143 OPS. Sal Frelick, .071 average, 142 OPS. They batted 118 as a team. That's literally the worst ever. One of the worst ever. I saw a stat. It was there hasn't been a team that's hit worse in a 7-game series than the Milwaukee Brewers. And it's all credit to the Dodgers pitching staff. Blake Snell was untouchable in the first game. The Brewers had a chance, though, in that first game, which really says something about the pitching and the team. Blake Snell pitched 8 scoreless innings, and the team almost came back. They were a hit batter short of tying it, and Bryce Trang moved out of the way, which I don't fault him for at all. I want to get that abundantly clear. I don't fault someone for moving out of the way of a ball that's coming at you at 90 miles an hour that's going for your kneecaps. It's fine. He's a kid. What I will fault him for is then swinging at a ball that's 5 inches above the strike zone. You can fault him for that. Yamamoto, game 2. Jackson Chourio, first pitch home run. That's all he gave up. A complete game. Game 3, Tyler Glasnow, 5 2/3 innings, 1 run. Though we needed to work the counts better. Blake Snell had a low pitch count. He could have gone 9 easy. Yamamoto had a low pitch count through the whole entire game. Glasnow, you got the count up a little bit, but then you lost to the bullpen. And then game 4, I mean, we saw the greatest single game ever by a player. Shohei Ohtani had quite literally the best game anyone has ever seen in the history of the sport. 6 innings pitched, no runs, 10 strikeouts, and he hit 3 home runs. I've never seen a single player win a game before, and he did. Single-handedly, he did it all himself. He could have pitched longer if they needed him to, and he hit 3 home runs, including maybe the longest home run I've ever seen live. Almost 470 feet. He cleared the pavilion in Dodger Stadium. And I feel bad for the pitching for the Brewers because they did good. Jacob Misiorowski, again, a kid. He pitched well. In 5 innings, he had an ERA of 1.80. Jared Koenig, 4 innings pitched, no runs allowed. Freddie Peralta, he got roughed up a little bit. 5 2/3 innings, 3 runs allowed. Chad Patrick, 2 runs over 4 1/3 innings. Abner Uribe, the guy who was fantastic in the NLDS, he got roughed up. And he had a brutal error where he threw to first. And why are you throwing to first with 2 outs? Just focus on the batter. The pitching was good, which is great. 1 run each game is humiliating. The team got embarrassed by the Dodgers. And it's like, I'm upset because I expected more from some of our players, from Yelich specifically. And I'm hurt because I'm embarrassed. I went on my channel and I hyped up my team and I said, I think that we can take it to 7 and I think that we can win in 7. I've never been more wrong about a take in my life. And I should have known that you can't beat a team that has Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez, and Will Smith. Because you can say Will Smith wasn't looking great, Shohei Ohtani wasn't looking great against the Phillies. But you know these are a different brand of players. They're not going to stay down. Shohei Ohtani is not going to be bad for 2 straight series. He's not. And it's upsetting because they pitched him well in the first 2 games, and then the third he started to heat up a little bit, but even so, he didn't look great. He looked foolish in some of those at-bats. He was swinging at pitches that were way out of the zone, like Robert Gasser had his number, for Pete's sake. And then in the last game, you needed to win, and he does what he does, and he hit 3 home runs. I've never been more humiliated as a Brewers fan. And it's like, if we won 1, then I think, yeah, we grabbed 1. But to get swept in such an embarrassing fashion. They're a great team. They're maybe the best team ever constructed. Shohei Ohtani is the best player ever. Ever. And there's no argument anymore. Well, Barry Bonds this, Barry Bonds that. He never struck out 10 batters over 6 innings and hit 3 home runs in 1 game. Shohei Ohtani is the greatest player to ever live. I've been saying it the whole entire time. He's the best to ever live. And will be the best to ever live. I'm saying it. I don't care. He's the best to ever play and will ever play this game. And of course you can't keep him down. And it was foolish of me to think that we could. It was a joke of a series. It was a joke of a game by the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm humiliated, I'm embarrassed, and I feel bad for Caleb Durbin and Jacob Misiorowski and Jackson Chourio. Jackson Chourio was playing through injury the whole entire time, and we couldn't do anything. Like, he hit a home run against Yamamoto, and that's all we could do that game. He got hurt in game 3. He got a cramp in his leg, and he came out in game 4, and he still got hits. Yelich couldn't do that. Terang couldn't do that. Andrew Vaughn couldn't do that. Sal Frelick couldn't do it. Joey Ortiz couldn't do it. Chourio is a kid, and he's going out and fighting every day. And Caleb Durbin, this rookie from Washington University, a D3 school, he's this little pit bull, and he played so well. In game 3, a game where we had a chance the entire time, double, triple, stolen base, walks, he was doing everything he could, making good defensive plays, and we couldn't do anything. Runners left in scoring position. Not taking advantage, not working counts. That's the one thing I asked us to do. Work the counts so the starting pitching can get out. And we couldn't do it. And as a Brewers fan, it sucks. It sucks. Because I know we'll be back. I really do. Because this is a young, talented team, and I get that. Brandon Woodruff was hurt, and that was brutal, and I don't think people are going to talk about that enough. And would it have mattered? Probably not. Probably not. We maybe would have gotten a game. Maybe. And the starting pitching, we weren't getting anything. It was Freddie, and that was our only starting pitching, and I trust Pat Murphy with everything. I really do. But the only pitcher who was an actual starter and not an opener for us was only Freddie Peralta, and that was it. Ashby was starting like every other day, it seemed like. But like I said, it's frustrating. And as a Brewers fan, I don't know when we're going to win it ever. My dad has been a Brewers fan his entire life, and he's seen us make the World Series once in 1982 with Robin Yount and Paul Molitor. And we lost, obviously, to the Cardinals, and I hate the Cardinals. And I'm like, I just hope that we can make it before my dad dies. And it's not like my dad's old. It's not like my dad is sick or anything like that, but that's just where I'm at. And then I'm like, I hope that we can make it before I die, because I don't know if I ever can. I was telling my brother this last night, and I said, I don't know what I will feel at that moment when the Brewers win it all, because that is a level of happiness that I have never known, and I don't know if I will ever know until the Brewers win. There are 3 things in my life that I don't know the level of happiness I will be until it actually happens, because I can't even imagine how happy I will be. When my child is born, when I have my wedding, and when the Brewers win the World Series, that's it. And the thing is, it's the same thing every year. My brother is an eternal optimist when it comes to the Brewers, and every single year, this is our year, and I'm not that way. I look at the team, I say, we have this flaw here, we have this flaw there, and then we start playing, and then we start winning. And I'm like, you know what? This actually could be our year. And then it never happens. It never, ever happens, and it sucks. And I don't even know what to say. We lost to the better team. And I don't want to label this video, what went wrong with the Milwaukee Brewers? Well, we couldn't hit is what went wrong, and we lost to a team that is just better. We were outclassed in every way, shape, and form, and then we witnessed the greatest game ever played by a single player. Maybe in the history of sports, you can make a real argument. It's the best baseball game ever played, and we were sitting front row. When Shohei hit that 3rd home run, I started laughing. I went to my parents, who were on a little bit of a delay, and I watched, and look at this. And Shohei hit another one. My mom was just like, what can we do? What can we do? There's nothing you can do. He's the most unbelievable player I've ever seen. And I can't wait to say to my kids and my grandkids, and I can't wait to say, I got to see Shohei Ohtani live. I did. I'll be able to say that because he will go into the mythos as a mythical character. He's going to be like in that category of the Wilt Chamberlain 100-point games, the Babe Ruth called shots. That is where Shohei Ohtani will be. And like the Brewers they fell apart at the wrong time. Yelich couldn't hit to save his life. And the team ran into a buzzsaw that couldn't be stopped. The Dodgers had it click late, and the Brewers had it fall apart late. And this season is not a failure by any stretch of the imagination. It's not. It's really not. But I'm disappointed, and I can still be disappointed because I thought we had a chance. I liked the style of play we had. The regular season went our way. Regular season's not the playoffs. And I don't know if I would rather have this or to lose in 7 like in 2018 to the Dodgers again. At least this time it was painful. I mean, not painful. Like this time it was like, oh, well, that's done now. Oh, well, we didn't have a chance. In 2018, at least we got some wins and that was fun. But in 2018, it felt like we had a chance, which made it hurt all the more when we lost. And I just want to make a World Series, man. Like, that's all I want. And I don't know when, if ever, it will happen. And it's this team, it beats you down, and other fans don't understand, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'll give it to the teams that haven't won a World Series, I'll give you that. I'll maybe give it to the Guardians fans because they've had an insanely long drought. They made the World Series in 2016. I don't even know what that's like. I almost started crying when the Brewers advanced this year against the Cubs. And it's just, I just don't know if I see a path forward when you have a team that has Shohei, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Will Smith, Tyler Glasnow. It's an embarrassment of riches, and they embarrassed the Brewers. At the end of the day, that's what it was. And you lost to Blake Treinen. Sorry, out of nowhere, just remember that. Come on, he sucks now. It was a joke of a series, and I want to put out an apology that says, I'm sorry for giving people any hope that the Brewers could make it a series because clearly I was proven wrong. I said that we could go 7. We couldn't even go 5. I apologize that I thought we had more fight because clearly we didn't. But that's what I got. Thanks for listening to Good Sports for You. I had a great time talking to you. I hope you had a good time listening. I really do, and I appreciate it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. And I'm out. Peace.